Okay, yay, perfect. All right, so tonight we're gonna hear from Double Diamond, almost Triple Diamond, Yadiz, one of my closest friends. I have to tell you guys, she was the fourth person to join Sherry Lynn's team, and the very first person to introduce herself to me in Diamond Empire, like ever, ever, ever. I don't probably seem too shy, but when Carl and I first started this business, like we were like always like doing our own thing, like kind of like in the background, and Yadiz and her husband are like, come sit with us, come sit with us. And so she was really the first person that I really met through Diamond Empire, and we've just been really close friends ever since. And like I said, we just went to Mexico together. We try to see each other like 2 or 3 times a year. And so her story is super inspiring. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, talk about your babies and all that good stuff. And then we'll go into kind of what we talked about, or you talked about with Sherry on the Diamond Zoom.
Okay, nice to meet you guys. I am so excited, first of all, and so honored to be speaking with you guys today. And my prayer is that I was like, Lord, just prepare their little hearts and may you hear the right words that you specifically need. And so my story is, you guys, I know Sherry from church, and they were one of our really, really close friends. And when I saw her post about the business, I was very interested in the wraps. I had 2 babies under 2, just like her. In fact, my oldest and her oldest are 6 days apart. Our second ones are only 3 months apart. So we have babies typically, the same around ages. And so I was interested in the products, and she invited me over, but she like had the computer ready. She had my website. She's like, give me your credit card. And so I gave her my credit card, and I thought I was ordering product, and I came out a distributor. That's just the way Sherry rolls. If you're around her enough, she'll just tell you where to sit, what to do, what to say. I'm like, what just happened? And so I was just interested in the products. I wanted to lose weight. And so she's like, yeah, of course, you're going to try the products. And so why not try them as you start making money? And I was working full time. I live in Dallas. And so here the commute to work was an hour for me, an hour one way, an hour back. And I was working 12 hours a day. And so I just, kind of in the back of my brain, I had a dream of one day being a stay-at-home mom, but it wasn't realistic. It wasn't realistic for me to even say it out loud. We were drowning in debt. And so even though I didn't join this business because of an extra income, that I just couldn't even wrap my brain around how you can make an extra income with this business. And so I started very consistently. So if you're thinking like, I don't even know how I got here, that was me. And my biggest recommendation would be use your product, become a product of the product, you guys. I always tell my girls, like, yes, it is optional to run your auto ship, but that's my secret. Like, I feel like that's our secret to success. If we're truly consistent and super loud about using our products. And I lost over 76 pounds, and my business exploded. It exploded so much that I got to double diamond super, super quick. I ended up, Melissa's sharing my before and afters. I got to double diamond super quick. I got there in 7 months, and I was just really ignorance on fire, 1000%. So that's kind of how I got started in the business with 2 babies under 2.
That's perfect. And that actually summed up Sherry so well. And it's crazy because I just went live on our team page yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, yesterday. And I was talking about like never underestimate the power of asking every single person to be a distributor, even if they say no, because the ones that say no first and come back are usually the ones that are going to like be your runners. So like my upline never even knew that I signed up as a distributor because she quit before I signed up, but she had put that little seed in my head, like, why don't you do the business instead? And I was like, heck no, I had 3 under 3. So like Yadiz and Sherry, I had 3 under 3, and I was working full time. And I was like, this girl's crazy. Like there is no way. Yet when I went on the website to buy the products, I hit join instead. So you just like never know. So a little different because Sherry was like, you have to do it. My person was like, okay, you don't want to do it, no problem. But always ask, because you never know who's going to say yes. So love that. And then now you have your 2 other littles. So kind of a funny story with them. I'm going to let you share that story.
Oh my gosh, yes, you guys, I never thought I would have this many kids, and they're all just such a blessing. But so we had baby number 3, and that was like a really big surprise, right? But then we find out we are pregnant with baby number 4, and when we go to the sono person, and they put the sono on your tummy for the first time, there was a humongous baby waving at me and sucking his finger. And the lady said, "Hey, your baby's going to be here in 3.5 months. Do you want to know the gender?" And so we were like, "What? No, like, we're just trying to process the fact that we're pregnant. No." And so, so crazy, because I was using the products, I was losing weight. And I actually had, like Melissa said, I had an accountability group with my customers, and we were like weighing ourselves, and then I hit a plateau. And so my customers were so motivational. They're like, "It's okay, Yadiz, maybe it's just water weight." And so then I started to gain weight, and they were like, "Yadiz, are you being consistent with your products?" I was like, "I promise you guys I am." And so we found out I was pregnant. I was 5 months pregnant. And so that was crazy. That was totally crazy.
Right after she just had her 3rd. So imagine, like, you think you're losing the baby weight from the 3rd one, and you lose the weight, but then you plateau and you're like, "What's going on?" You go to the doctor and they're like, "Oh, by the way, you're going to have a kid in 90 days. Like, good luck.
Yes.
Yeah, so she has 3 little boys, all boys, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, four boys.
4, sorry, yeah, 4 boys. Plus her husband, so 5.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So tell us about your journey, like with It Works, like from, going ruby, diamond, double, and then kind of like how that went. And then, one of the things a lot, we talk about this on my team a lot, is like, you can lose rank, and it's okay to lose rank, because every time you lose rank, you're actually building better and building stronger and building tighter. And so I went from being built for presidential down to ruby at one point a couple years ago, and I always say it's okay because I built it better. We built it better. And so I kind of want you to share like your, kind of start to finish to start to where you're at now, and all the good chunks that you shared with us on the Diamond Zoom.
Yeah, you guys, at the beginning, I was ignorance on fire, right? And I've always been really, really big about working out and eating healthy and just trying to do all the right things. Luki, can you go upstairs with Papa? Can you please go upstairs? He's going to be so loud. Okay. And so I've always been super, super consistent with that. And so I had to surround myself with a group of ladies that were into those things. So when I immediately joined because of the products, I invited these people to do the business. And so I invited 3 friends to do the business with me, and these girls took off like a wildfire, you guys. And that's how I went so quickly, is those girls changed my business. And I was telling, all the diamonds and above that, everything was going awesome. However, just last year, a lot of the girls, 5 girls that were double diamonds on my team, left my team. And so when your team is so strong and you're like, "This is amazing," people leave you, and then you're left like, it is so easy to walk away. I feel like my husband was seeing like my hard work, was seeing all the things. And these girls, like, I still we're still friends. I still love them. And a lot of the times, if we're completely honest, we all get hit with life. And before we know it, we always put this to the side, because we're having to deal, like in my case, in my team, it was just like girls going through like divorce, like really hard moments. And so I was telling the girls on the Diamond Huddle that last August, I went all the way down to ruby. And I had always been like a solid double, you guys, always, until last year I had hit all the way down to ruby, and not just like a healthy pay ruby, like a low paid ruby. And what was even crazier is once we decided in January to have, like, once we found out we had a baby, I no longer went back to work. This was my full-time income. And when your full-time income goes down to a low-paid Ruby, it started to create some tension between me and my husband, some money problems that we didn't have before. To top it off, and you know, a lot of the girls on my team know this, but I had almost lost my dad. Okay, my dad falls from a two-story house he built back home and breaks almost every bone in his body. He breaks his arm in 6 different places, his hip, pelvic, and tailbone. He's bleeding internally. They have to slice him open in half. And so, so my parents didn't have insurance. And so we're now having to cover all of their expenses. Okay. And then shortly after, my mom gets diagnosed with a brain tumor, and my mom she's a vegetable. She's on an oxygen machine. She's on a feeding tube. And so I remember just crying, like praying and saying, like, Lord, I want to grow so bad. I want this business so bad. I need this so bad. But I feel like I keep hitting wall after wall after wall. Like, my teammates left me. My parents are fighting for their lives. Like, we're hanging in there by a thread in our marriage because of money problems. Like, Lord, I can't do this no more. And I feel like he was saying, will you stop trying to be strong and let me be strong for you? Will you just surrender it to me? And then in that moment, let me text Edgar to come get this kid because he's so distracting to me. I'm like, I don't know why we have so many.
No worries. We can't even hear him.
Okay, good. I was like, he's like right here, you guys. And so, but in those moments, you guys, I had to write a letter to myself. I had to write a letter to myself because I'm like, number one, I'm not a quitter. Okay. I am a lot of things, but I am not a quitter. And so I remember Sherry had checked up on me, and I told her that I was so embarrassed. They had disconnected my electricity, and it wasn't that we didn't have it because we were scraping by, but I was so overwhelmed with a million thoughts in my head. My whole life and everything was so chaotic, you guys. I felt like I was drowning. And so then in that moment that she's like, you know what, Yadiz, like, I believe you can do it. I believe you can do it. And so what I would say is, you know, make sure you guys, I always tell my team, go speak life into somebody. Like, I force them to, part of our power hours is go send a note to somebody that inspires you. If you hear a story, go tell them, because you don't know if that is the encouragement that they need right that second. So every single day, you know, I try to do that myself with somebody else, like, you know, because I needed that encouragement. And so that in those moments, I wrote a letter to myself, because I had to decide. It was either gonna be me, like, you know, leaving completely, because it was easy to walk away when your paycheck is a low paid Ruby. It is easy to throw in the towel. And so, but I knew I was meant for more. Like, I knew in my heart, like, I had to believe that God had big plans for my life. Like, I couldn't let my mind go there. And so I wrote this letter, and I want to read it to you guys. It says, Double Diamond means financial freedom. Double Diamond means we no longer have to stress over our bills. It means we can spoil our babies. It means Edgar's more relaxed and we no longer fight over money. But more than anything, it is proving to myself that I can do this. Lord, I need you more than ever. I can't do this alone. And so it's been done in Jesus' name. And so I fold this up, and right now it has like customer stuff in it, but I fold this little letter up, you guys, in my journal, and I had to hold on to that truth. And in that moment, I said, you know what, Lord, I'm just going to surrender it all to you. Use me. My strengths are, because I am a very yellow personality, I might not be the biggest like enroller. I might not be the best teacher, you know, but my strength is I can be a good friend. I know how to love on people. So I'm going to do that. And I had read on a book, An Elevator Effect. You know, they walk into an elevator and, you know, it's awkward. It's always awkward in an elevator. And so, but he said that he would go in there and he would smile and he would say good morning to every person. And that 100% of the people returned a smile back. And so I was like, you know what? Like, nobody likes my Facebook post. Nobody likes like, I'm going to go out there and show people love before I receive love. I'm going to go out there and stand out when there's like, in my mind, because I live in very close to John and Cherry, and there's so many leaders that are local, which is amazing. But at the same time, if I allow that to get in my head, well, everybody's going to join under her, because you know what I mean? Like, my mind could go there very easily. So I had to like get it together and say, no, I'm going to stand out because I'm going to be genuine. I'm going to love on these people. I'm going to record all my crazy kids singing happy birthday. And instead of sending a message, I'm going to send out that recording of my kids singing happy birthday every single day. And tell them, I hope this makes you smile and I hope you feel celebrated. And you guys, I started to see a shift in my business. I started to just do the work because I used to be so scared before even starting. And so I began to read, I told everybody, I began to read Sherry's book, and I judged it by its cover, and I've told her to her face like a lot of times. And so I was like, yeah, of course you're going to tell me I can do hard things because you're a double ambassador, but I'm Yadiz. But this book, you guys, it truly walked me through so many things, and it showed me Sherry's an actual human being, you know, she's not a purple unicorn like I thought in my head. And so when I read this book and she was talking about the way, you know, about the way she thinks of friendship, I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder she's like that. The reason why she's so big about like the team, you know, like I was able to identify with so many things. She talked about how she was studying hard to finish her degree, and how she would spend, and so that to me, I'm like, okay, I'm not the best at like catching everything they say with it works. Like, I am not the one with the most ideas. And so maybe it's going to take a couple of minutes for it to click for me, and that's okay. And so once I read this book, you're able to give yourself grace. It helped me organize my life. And so that's kind of like, I had messaged Sherry in private telling her, from last August to this past August, I had my highest paid double diamond check ever, you guys. And so I was like, it's like more than 12 times of what I made. And, but I know what it's like to not have anything. And so I had to change my story. I was telling myself I had to like turn it all around. I don't know if you want to say anything, Melissa.
No, you're good. I was just seeing if everybody was muted.
Okay. And so, so what I started to do, you guys, to change my story, like, I didn't have the belief in myself. Okay. I had zero belief that I was able to do this on my own. Right. Because when you have good leaders in your team and they all of a sudden get hit with life and they're no longer here, you're like, oh crap, how am I supposed to get there? You were supposed to be this little piece, you know? And so, but the Lord showed me, like, will you just trust me and trust the process and get excited about changing people's lives? Like, I'm about to rock your world. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna work on my belief. And I wrote like a crazy person on my mirror, and I wrote like my affirmations, and I would hop on the scale because I was also at my heaviest. After 4 babies, I was at my heaviest. And so I really had to, if I knew that if I wanted a boom in my business, I needed to get loud and fall in love with these products all over again. I needed to change it all around. And so I tell my team, I'm like, it's so crazy to me that it starts like within us. Like it really does start within us. I had to look myself in the mirror, the biggest that I've ever been, and decide, I was like, you know what? I'm no longer going to say like, oh, I look fat. Oh, I ate cake. You know, I probably gained 10 pounds. I was no longer going to sabotage myself. If I was going to change my life, I was going to change the way I was speaking to myself. And I was going to do it one day, one decision, one thought at a time. Okay. Cause I couldn't even fathom, like I couldn't even think of like a 3-month challenge, just like we do with our customers. So I was like, I'm just going to take it 1 hour at a time, one decision at a time. And I started to change my story. I started to change what I was saying to myself. And I told my team at the beginning, it is so hard. It is so hard to hop on the scale and say you love your body, that you take care of it daily. It's hard. It's hard to say you inspire people when your life is crumbling. It's hard. But you know, as the day kept going, anytime I would let fear, like I was scared, like I would just do more of the things. You know, I would message more people. I would do an extra post. I would go, you know, check in on my team and love on them more. I didn't let those fears, instead of it telling me you're never going to get there, you're so far, look at everything that's fallen. You know, I wasn't going to do that anymore. I wasn't going to even think of that. I was just going to speak life for a change and not focus on the bad. And so that's like a little bit of how I started to like turn it around.
I love that. Okay, so first of all, I have to say I judged the book by the cover too. And I haven't read it. I started listening to the audiobook and I absolutely love it. And I love that it's in Sherry's voice, but it kind of creeped me out at the same time. So I was like, I'm just going to have to read it because I can read it with her voice in my head, but to hear it with her voice there and in my head, and I'm like, hold on, I just got to do this way. But I kind of did too. And I thought the same thing. And so your part on the huddle like really opened my eyes to that. So mine's actually right here. So this is my weekly book. So I'm glad that you said that. And then I think it's so important that you wrote it down and asked, because I don't know if you guys, I know some of you guys probably watched Stephen Furtick this morning for Elevation Church, but it was like the whole theme of it was, but did you ask? You know, like, did you ask God to help you with this? You know, but did you really ask him, or did you just think it in your head? Like you wrote it down and you asked him and you kept that, you know, close to your heart. And so I really like that. And it literally went with like the whole sermon this morning. So I love that. And then he said, you have to ask to activate. So if you have certain goals and certain dreams and certain, you know, whatever you want to reach in your life, big, small, whatever, you have to ask for it. You can't just wish for it. So you have to go out and ask for it. And then the other thing he talked about was anybody who says no to you, just think in your head, no means next. That wasn't the right person for you. The Double Diamonds that left Yadiz's team, those weren't the right people for her team. Like they were amazing. They did great things, but her team now, like she said, her check's the biggest it's ever been. It's the strongest it's ever been. And that's saying really big things, you guys, in the month of August. Like August, September, October, November, and December are generally like our harder months. Like we still make good money and have good checks, but to have your highest check be in August is like, that's huge. Like I'm like, good, yay, because I don't think August has ever been one of my biggest checks, like ever. So that's awesome. Okay, so tell us about your customer group, because I think the customer group has been something that's helped you gain a lot of confidence over time too. And I know you are an LC signing machine, so we'd love to hear about that since we just started our VIP group. Maybe it'll give us some good ideas. And then I want you guys to ask questions too. You can put them in the chat. You can unmute yourself. Like if you have any questions that you want to ask, whether it's about everything that she just shared, or about the customer group that she has. And you have a huge Latino market too. So that's awesome.
I do have a huge Latino team, and it's crazy because just a few months ago, I had zero. So just like the power of that. And I want to read you guys this quote, because this quote just really hit me. And so it says, if you focus on your goal, you may hit it. But if you focus on growth, you will always hit your goal. if you focus on growth, you will always hit your goal. Okay. And then the other quote that I really love, okay, this is going to be from John Maxwell. He said, people are anxious to change their circumstances, but they refuse to grow themselves. Therefore, they remain bound. They remain bound. Okay. And so the whole transformation of my business, my weight, my customers, you guys, I used to struggle signing for customers. I literally had to retrain my mind on purpose. I had to change my eating habits. I had to be loud about my products, super duper loud. I shared this with my own personal team, but as I'm making this shift, my mom is actually visiting. Okay. She's visiting for a very long time, 3 months. And my mom has changed so much ever since like her like brain stuff. And she's not a very positive person now. Okay. And my husband would tell me like, babe, you look amazing. And she would tell me like, no, she doesn't. Like, you think she lost weight, Edgar? No, you look good. She doesn't. And so guess what I had to do on social media is you have to become your biggest fan. Nobody was going to come save me from my chart. Nobody was going to come save me and pay my bills. Nobody was going to come and tell me, Yadiz, you look amazing, unless you're like my really close friends. But nobody was going to start doing that. Okay. Nobody. So guess what I had to do? Each and every day I was celebrating. If that scale moved, if there was inches, I do not care. I was celebrating like insanely loud. I'm not a morning person. Not a morning person, which is why I record my son making my coffee every morning. But I would get my coffee and I would celebrate, and so make sure you're being super duper loud about your products, because I'm telling you, I feel like that was like a big part. And then about the group with my customers, we have, just like you guys have, like a Facebook page. And then we send out like a chat, basically, pick a day, September 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we have, on Mondays, motivation. Somebody goes on for motivation. Fridays are for results. Like we kind of have like, or maybe Tuesday transformation or something like that. And so we have some things, tips, showing them how you make your coffee. And we have different people on our team, because I don't want them to go on there and be like, I just see Yadiz. Is she the only one? I don't want it to be like that. I want our customers to get like super duper involved. And so one of the things that I started to do with my personal customers, because I hired a nutritionist to help me stay accountable. And one of the things that she told me is, if you're not ready to commit for 3 months, you're not ready for change. And by the way, it was $1,500 for her to be my nutritionist. And so I was like, I sure am ready for change. Here you go, And so I was like, dang it, she got me. But that's something that I tell with my customers. I tell them, hey, I know 3 months is a lot. I know that. I've been there. When everything has failed, I know what it's like. But if you're not ready to commit with me for 3 months, that means you're not really ready for change, because these products are amazing. They work. I've shown you my personal testimony. Why wouldn't it work for you? Okay. And so they trust me completely. And we don't just sell one product. I mean, it is like a lot. It's like 6 products. Okay, you guys, but I am passionate about it. I am passionate because that's what worked for me. It's going to work for you too. Okay. And then, another thing is I have them measure, okay? And then I have them step on the scale and send me a picture. What happens psychologically if I had to tell you, you need to do that? You're like, oh crap, she's gonna ask for it again. I better be good, okay? And so that's why my customers are getting incredible results. Incredible results. And so on that page, you guys, it is nothing special at all. You trust me, like you guys are way more organized than we are. And so, but it's, you know, it's just showing, you know, how we make the coffee, you know, good morning, you know, some info, you know, maybe showing like a recipe. Then somebody else is like showing their coffee and saying good morning to them. And then, you know, I'm sharing them like, you know, they can change their story, everything that I'm going through. I tell them, yes, we preach like, you know, low carb diet, low sugar, but you need to change the way you talk to yourself. Even in your weight loss journey, you need to change. Like I tell them, you cannot come in here and tell me it doesn't work because, you know, you go up a pound. You're in this journey for your journey. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. You know, my journey was like lose 2, gain 1, lose 2, gain 1, but it was progress, and we celebrate progress. So I'm very clear with my customers about that. And then we like preach host to post, of course, to everybody. That's kind of what we do. But then we also message people too, just like our KPI list says, you know, asking people for customers, asking people for distributors. There's really no other secret, you know, because I used to think like, oh no, there must be something, but it's really just doing the task and realizing, you know what, it may take her 10 messages, but I don't care if it takes me 100, and I don't care if it takes me 200, you know, or, you know, so I wasn't scared anymore of the work, or I'm not scared because I was giving up too soon. I was giving up too soon every time I hit a wall. And so I felt like the Lord was telling me, hey, I'm like, these are tests. You don't get to just like bypass the test. Okay. You're trying, like, I want you to learn something from this process, and you keep trying to skip it. And so I was like, okay, you know, I was like, let me learn this fast so we can move on to the next thing, you know? And so it was just really checking my attitude, checking my, you know, making sure that I was putting in the work. And then this last little bit, making sure you guys, like, seriously write it on your mirror and say it out loud every day. This month I've added, I experience a miracle daily. I'm going to experience a breakthrough in my business. And so that has been really fun this month to like see, okay, questions here. How do you branch that conversation with each customer? My conversation, if they're commenting about the wraps, if they're commenting about the coffee, it's always the same. I'm always like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to tell you about my products. How much weight are you wanting to lose? Or are you just wanting to tighten, tone, and firm? You know, how much weight are you wanting to lose? Okay. I'm trying to go back to what my nutritionist, how she like did it. And so it was, how much weight do you want to lose? And then I tell them, okay, couple of questions for you. Tell me if you're working out, eating healthy. Do you like coffee? And do you stress a lot? Okay. And I'm going to send Melissa the script basically that I use. And then, I mean, I'm not kidding you guys. It is long. Like, I had to break from like follow the script kind of thing. I had to break and be like, you know what, Lord, I'm guided to like, this is what I'm feeling. You just go with what you're feeling sometimes. And so this is, I'm trying to find a girl that I was talking to here earlier, and I literally just sent her that script because that's what works. It is that simple.
What are you having them host a post for weight loss? Is it just anyone
Coffee
wanting to lose 30 pounds before Christmas or something like that?
Yeah. So I like to do my friends and like your friends on Facebook, right? Your friends on Facebook, every single person. If you guys were my friends on Facebook, you guys post about my giveaway. Like my friends on Facebook, everybody, Okay. And then I grow my network and I get entries. So every single day, my inbox is full of entries. And so now I'm going through my Facebook list because I'm messaging, but that's like my way of deleting people because I'm always like tapped. And so, but I like the coffee because that's what I use, you know, for my weight loss. And then, so I just send Melissa, you know, anyone here a coffee lover and looking to drop a few pounds, my friend Yadiz needs 4 people. Like that's the one that I use always. And then here is the one that I use. Oops. And like, I'm serious. Like it just says, but I learned so much going with my nutritionist, you guys, like literally. Okay. So the first ones are short, you know, thank you so much for wanting info. How much weight did you want to lose? Okay, a couple more questions. Do you like coffee? And then it's like this big one, but it explains the pack. And then, you know, they tell me, oh my gosh, I bet it's like a lot. Or, you know, I tell them, listen, like it's an investment for you. I'm not this, like, I'm a better mom. I'm a better wife and a better friend. Like I show them my picture. Like I show them, I put in the value of my products, okay? Because you guys, like seriously, it was not cute, okay? And so when they're able to see like, man, like she's right, like I am worth it, you know, when they're able to see that, they're like, you know what, I want that too. I'm sick and tired of like, you know, like it's just, I mean, it's 8 inches off my waist. It's a lot, okay? And so when they're able to just hear my excitement and hear, I mean, I typically just like boom, 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 and then this is how much it is. And if for whatever reason they can't do 6, we do 3, you know, or I was like, friend, like this is what works for me. And however, if your budget if you're not able to do that, let's at least get you started with X, Y, and Z. Let's at least get you started because these products are amazing.
I love that. Start big and smaller, but you're still 3 products is still amazing. But okay, so your average BV is probably what, 150, 124, 150, depending on the promos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just depending on the promos.
That's awesome. Wouldn't you guys love to have every customer sign 150 BV or more? I know I do. I love the idea of a coffee hosted post too, because you can link it to the distributor kit. If they say they don't have any, they can't even afford to buy the 3 products. So what about just joining our team and making money and losing weight at the same time, you know, so it kind of gives you like another option for that too. So I like that. Perfect. And then there was a couple questions. Let me see. What's the easiest way to talk about products when you're camera shy? I know some people aren't ready to go live. I say, Buttercup, do it.
I mean, you guys, I'm not the best at going live either. Like, I don't like the live videos either. I would just say, be loud about your posts then. If you're not going to go live every day, be loud about you using the products, Like I had one of the girls that is on here, she's a Latina that just joined my team. She's a family member. She's a cousin that we didn't know we were related anyways, but she is adorable. And so she's like, I'm just going to do whatever the heck you're doing. And she's like, my products she ordered products. She's like, my products haven't come in yet, but I'm going to start posting. I see how excited you are. I'll just drink mine and raise my hand and be excited. Mine are coming. You know, nobody knows what's in my cup. And so she just began that excitement, and excitement is going to sell over all the knowledge. Always. Okay. So don't feel like you have to know all the things. Just be excited. That's it.
I love that. And so you just got a very red answer from me and a very yellow answer from Yadiz.
Yeah, totally.
We balance each other out so well. She's like the yin to my yang, because I'm like, just do it. She gives you other options. I love that. No, that was really good. Thank you. Courtney, did you have a question? Oh, no, she turned her camera off. Maybe not.
I would love to know what worked for you to lose weight. Yes. I did a keto diet, friend. I did a keto diet. I also did, this is the app she recommended, and I paid extra because she wouldn't even do my meal preps. I'm like, wait, what are you doing exactly? Just kidding. And so, no, but really, this is the app. It's called Carb Manager. And I think I paid $16, and you can get unlimited recipes. And it is super duper simple, especially for me to like share with my customers as well. And you can click on under recipes and plug in whatever you have in your house, and it'll bring up a menu that are super duper simple. Like this one's like a shepherd's pie. That was one of my favorite recipes there. But it was like, I would take the Skinny Brew coffee, okay, because it had more caffeine and it would keep me full. I know that you would think the keto coffee would be my go-to, but I like the Skinny Brew myself. And then, so I would start that around 10 o'clock in the morning. Around 3 p.m. is when I would have my 2 eggs, 2 strips of bacon, and an avocado. And then this was my dinner. You know, my dinner was like at 6 o'clock or 6:30. And then, you know, obviously my intermittent fasting. And by plugging in my food, you guys, sometimes like I had to like take a spoon of the MCT oil, or, you know, just so I can keep up with my fats, my healthy fats. But it was really awesome because I don't want my customers to undereat. That was big. Okay. You have to make sure, like I tell them, like, I don't want you to starve yourself. That is not my goal. My goal is that you start getting habits for your life that are going to last you forever. And so, but it was important that I learn the whole keto diet and do it properly so I can coach people when they come into my business. And it was really just the whole tracking and making sure they're not under eating, they're eating enough, you know, intaking enough fats. And so, yeah, that app is awesome.
Awesome. All right. Well, I was going through the questions and I don't see any more. Do you guys have any more questions for Yadiz? This was really, really, really good. I saw some emotion at the beginning. I'm not going to say who. Eva. I love Eva, because your story just really hits home for a lot of us. So thank you so much for getting on. And I'm just going to do a quick prayer for us, guys, and then we can hop on over to the family call. And Yadiz sent me those scripts, so I will make sure that we get them on the team page. If you guys have any more questions for her, feel free to message them to me and I can shoot them over to her. And Yadiz, I hope I get to see you soon. I need coronavirus to be over so I can come visit you again. You guys,
Yes.
Our husbands have visited each other without us.
I
This
know.
is the level. Fair. I'm like, they did what? They went to lunch together? Like, what? It's crazy. Okay, so yes, thank you. This was perfect. So, all right, so our prayer for this evening. Father, thank you that even if others discount us, you will count us, and you are the only one who really matters. Thank you that you have qualified us to do what you have destined us to do. I believe that you will take what we have or what we want and multiply it. In Jesus' name, amen. So thank you guys. Thank you, Yadiz. Love you tons. I'll see you guys over on the family call. Bye, guys. Oh, morning mindset tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific. See you guys there.
Bye, guys.
Bye.